no numbers, there's no pictures, there's no videos, there's no gameplay. I don't like it.
Yo, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope everyone's having a good day so far. Today, Freemers, I have a very special video for you. Today, we're going to dive into a game that I played personally after Free Realms was shut down. And no, this isn't about Destiny. I mean, I talk about that a lot. But there was another game that I played after Free Realms shut down. So, when Free Realms shut down, it wasn't the only game that shut down. Along with it, there was there was a Star Wars game that got shut down, and there were 3 other games that I can't really put my finger on because I don't remember the names of them. I didn't play those. I played the Star Wars game, and then I played Free Realms. They got shut down, and when they got shut down, you know, Daybreak Studios came into play, and they made a game. They actually made a game when all of those shut down. Now, I looked at it as Daybreak shut down 5 of SOE's titles to create this one game. Now, when I saw this get announced, I saw it at like PAX. I saw it at I saw it online. I saw it around. And I was like, okay, you know, you shut down my childhood game. Cool. I guess I'm going to give this a whirl, because I was like, okay, so the game company that shut down my childhood game, they're making a new game. Maybe I should give it a shot, you know, give it a chance, right? We should always give games a chance, you know, even if they're bad. You know, they get better over time. So today, we are going to be talking about H1Z1. Now, I did play this game. Not a lot of you have. I'm guaranteeing that not a lot of you have played H1Z1. Okay? And that's fine. That's fine. Not everyone did, you know? No one knew where to go when Free Realms shut down. It's a hard pick, you know? There's not a lot of games that are like Free Realms. This game is not like Free Realms in any shape or form. I mean, it had, like, things that are like it, but, you know, it wasn't Free Realms. It wasn't our childhood, like you'd remember it. Like, it was nothing like it. So, getting into it, what type of game was H1Z1? So, H1Z1 was a very different type of game from Free Realms. It was a survival zombie multiplayer game. That's what it was at the start, right? So this was H1Z1. H1Z1 was this, you know, you'd go out into this world, you'd survive, you'd fight zombies, and you got to play with other people while doing this. I thought that was super cool, super neat. This was actually, like, H1Z1 was a fun game. It wasn't terrible by any means. It was actually a blast. And the survival part of the game was probably the best part of it. There were other parts of the game which we will get into, but the survival aspect of H1Z1 was my favorite because, I don't know, it just felt like I was so immersed in the game, and it almost felt like Free Realms where, hey, there's a community here, we're all surviving together. You know, it felt right. It felt good. You know, it felt like Daybreak was... I almost, to an extent, I almost was like, okay, maybe the studio's not so bad for shutting down my childhood game, right? You would think that. Hey, we're just getting into this, so let's keep going. So there's a couple other things in survival that H1Z1 actually touched upon. So you could actually take over bases and make your own bases. So besides the survival aspect, you'd get guns. It was basically like a third-person shooter where you'd survive out there, kill zombies, but you also got to, there were like buildings all around the map. You could find these buildings to get supplies from, you could loot, and you could actually, there was a building system in the game. You could actually build structures in the world, which I thought was neat because it's a little like Free Realms, but Free Realms, how the building worked in that game, it was constricted. It was, I don't know the word for it. It was like you could only build in a certain location. You could only build in your lots. With H1Z1, you could build all over the map. So everywhere you were driving, if you had a car, like in that second image, anywhere you were walking, there was a base. Someone built something You could see it everywhere. And probably the most basic building you'd see is this one. These two are just like examples I found on Google. But yeah, you could basically build your own bases. And you could also, if you found buildings that were created by the devs inside the map, or on the map or whatever, you could actually build in those buildings and take them over. Like, I remember when I played, someone actually took over like a police station, which was funny to me because like they literally just held ground. And this was the best part about H1Z1 in the survival setting, because there were so many players in that. It became good when there were so many players in it, because you could play with other people, you could build your own bases, have your own team, you could have rivalries, you could like keep building on your base. I thought this was the best part about H1Z1. Right? This was probably my favorite experience of H1Z1. I think a lot of other games did this as well before H1Z1. Like, there's a game called DayZ, I think, which is the most comparable game you could compare H1Z1 to. It was basically that. But H1Z1 did, it went past the survival aspect of the game. It evolved. Let's get into that right now, shall we? So, how did H1Z1 become popular? Because, again, the You Just Survive, that was not how it got popular. Not at all. Trust me. I know. I played it. That wasn't how it got popular. So, I want to get into a story real quick and it's completely going to relate to what we're talking about, but it's a very personal story that I do want to discuss with you guys, and it will lead into what we're going to talk about. So, I actually helped in getting a Twitch streamer partnered. So, back in high school days, I played a game called Counter-Strike Global Offensive. I can't speak. Global Offensive, right? There was a lot of people streaming at the time. It was very early ages of streaming. And I met someone through CSGO. Her name was P90 Princess. I know her as Allie, but yeah, we met in that game and became very good friends, I would say. We played a lot of like zombie. After CSGO, like, I found out she streamed, and we played Left 4 Dead together, which was super cool. And after playing Left 4 Dead for so long, I had been playing H1Z1 at the time, and I was like, hey, you should check out this game. And I actually bought her a copy of H1Z1. And she, like, I swear to God, like, she went from CSGO to Left 4 Dead 2 to H1Z1, and then she got partnered playing that game. So I had a hand in helping her get there just by buying her a game. I thought that was super cool to just do. It was like during Christmas time. I think that's when I bought the game for her, and I thought that was super neat. She got partnered off of it, and I don't know, it was a super neat experience to watch, because H1Z1, I liked it a lot. I liked the survival aspect of the game. It was super fun, and I actually got to meet Allie in person when we went to, I went to PAX West, and I think she said she was going to be there. I went in 2017. That was like when I was almost out of high school. I think that was when I was out of high school. I could be wrong. I think that was, but like, yeah, no. So I went to PAX West. We actually met up, and she was shoutcasting for an H1Z1 tournament because the game got that big, and we'll get into more of that after this. But she was shoutcasting for it, and we met up. We got lunch, and I thought that was like probably my favorite experience at PAX West. Now, getting into how H1Z1 got popular, we'll scroll on into this. H1Z1 introduced a new game type, which is how the game got big. They introduced Battle Royale. Now, I'm not going to explain what Battle Royale is to you guys, because you know what. If you don't know what a Battle Royale is, it's basically everyone fights against each other, and there has to be one winner. That's the standard of the game type. It's you shoot, you loot, you try and win the game. That's the whole thing. I'm not a fan of the genre, but I did try this out. It was actually the only Battle Royale I gave a whirl. Not my thing. Not at all. No. But yeah, so they introduced this new game type, and everyone loved it. People streamed it. This is where the tournaments come into play, and it was great. Like, I still like just, you know, I like the survival more than I like the battle royale. That's just my take, because I feel like that's where the game was strongest in terms of the community. I know a lot of other people like the battle royale, but for me, it was all about the survival. If they had, you know, kept building on that, that would have been cool. However, we need to keep going here, because why was H1Z1 shut down? Yes, the game shut down. Crazy, I know, right? It's wild. It's insane. The game shut down, I think, this year. Almost positive about that. Shut down back in February. Yeah, why'd that happen? So I know a little bit about why it shut down. Very little, but I know there's a lot of reasons beyond what because I think I stopped playing H1Z1 after a while because I wasn't into the battle royale anymore. I was just like, I'll move on to other games. But it shut down for two reasons. Two big reasons, in my opinion. Ah, yes, that's the page I wanted to go to. No, so H1Z1 actually separated the survival from the battle royale. So they came out with H1Z1 King of the Kill. So remember, H1Z1 was just one game with two different game types. They separated the two, creating H1Z1 King of the Kill and H1Z1 Just Survive. Or it wasn't even called H1Z1, it was just called Just Survive. So they completely stripped the H1Z1 name from Just Survive, and it became its own thing. Now, eventually, Just Survive shut down. It shut down completely, I think, back in 2022. I think it was a huge mistake to even separate the two game types. I don't know why they did that. My guess is they were like, oh, the Battle Royale is popular. It's more efficient. We will focus towards that and leave Just Survive to die. And it shut down. I think they should have focused more on Just Survive. I get it. The Battle Royale is popular, but they didn't need to focus all of their attention towards that. I think they could have done both. They just chose not to. Big mistake, because I think that's where the community could have thrived. They could have built on that. They didn't. Cringe. That's one of the main reasons I stopped playing, was because I liked survival, but when you went to play Just Survive, there was no one on it because they were all playing the Battle Royale, the real H1Z1, which, yeah, it sucked. It sucked a lot. So I think that's the one big factor to why the game shut down. And yeah, and then the last thing I wanted to touch on is what they did more recently after they shut down Just Survive. H1Z1 was renamed to Z1 Battle Royale and lost players. Like, I think that's a big reason, like, everyone just forgot about the game. Because they have changed, you can see it. They changed the names of the games so many times, like H1Z1, Just Survive, H1Z1 King of the Kill, Z1 Battle Royale. Like, you can't change your game's name that many times and still have people remember, hey, this is the same game, you know? Huge mistake on their part, and I think this is why Daybreak, like, you can tell, like, over time, like, it just got really bad. It got really bad, and I can't imagine if Daybreak was running Free Realms now, how it would go. Like, how they would manage the game, and it scares me to death, you know? I don't want to, like, I could imagine them separating, like, the social experience of Free Realms from the combat completely and just making it two separate games, and the same situation happening. So it just shows that Daybreak can't really hold a really good game together. Doesn't seem like it. Because I don't know, I think they were focusing on the wrong things, and they just pushed towards, hey, this is where people are spending money, this is where people want to play, you know? It's a sad situation, and it sucks. But yeah, I wanted to talk about H1Z1 because, again, I have played it, and there's not a lot of people that have, and you guys are probably curious about, hey, how was the experience? Oh, it was something. It was quite wild. Anywho, that's the video for today. Thank you guys for watching. If you did, I appreciate it a ton, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!